Good morning to the like 4 people that watch this video. You may have noticed today I'm wearing a helmet. I have a story to go with that. First, it's like, I don't even know what time it is, like maybe 11 and 11:30. I just woke up and I have Greyhound bus hangover. If you do not know about the rustic charm of the Greyhound bus, I'll call it that, the rustic charm. I'll go ahead and tell you about it, and then I'm gonna tell you about my helmet, and then I'm going to take it off. If you don't know about the rustic charm of the Greyhound bus, I, of course, used to take it when I was young, like especially when I was in the Army, I took the Greyhound, and then even after when I lived out in California, I would take the Greyhound sometimes. And I recently started taking it again on the suggestion of a friend. My parents live in northern Mississippi, and it cost $600, which is like one of the highest costing places I've flown to fly to Memphis, which is 2 hours north of them. And so a couple of years ago, my friend was talking about the Greyhound bus and how much she enjoyed riding it. And at the time, I didn't necessarily have a lot of money to spend on a plane ticket, and I didn't want to drive. In the past, when my daughter's been home, I've rented a car. And so we would ride together. And this time, for the past couple of years, she's been gone. Once I flew her to Memphis and drove to Memphis myself, which costs like altogether probably $1,000 to get us places for the holidays. So I did that one year, and then the next year is when I started taking the bus. Didn't hate it. That's a good way to put it. I actually, it fits in between flying and driving. It's the second most favorite way to get somewhere for me when I'm going on a long trip, because flying, of course, is super convenient and easy and fast. Driving is long and hard because you have to do the driving. When you take the Greyhound, you don't have to do the driving, and you can do whatever you want. Like I had enough time to read again. So I finished like half a book on the train. I watched a movie, listened to some music, took several naps, So it's good. It's like you can just do what you want, and it's pretty cool. So I like that part of it. There are parts I don't like. I don't like the bus station in Atlanta, but I did hear last night that they have renovations planned. And I usually have a pretty long night over there. But it's also interesting there to sort of watch the goings on of the building and how people, the types of people that come and go, and then it's again a good thing for realizing we're all just mostly human people trying to get places. And there was this little boy last night, and I was trying to read in the line to get on the bus, and it ended up turning into a game of peekaboo with the little boy, and he had the most delightful laugh. So, like, I would be reading my book, and he would come back around the side of his father, and then he would look at me and wait for me to look at him, and I would just do a little peek over the side of the book, and he would laugh, and it was just hysterical. Just kind of getting that, and then watching how other people behave. It's fun, and it's not bad. It's not a bad way to pass an evening. And I ended up saying, I'm not spending all this time on my phone, and I pulled out the book that I've been meaning to read all holiday season, and I started reading, and honestly, it was a great evening. Cool cities that have some forward-thinking ideas are creating these hubs where Amtrak and the local train system, or the local bus system, and then the Greyhound all are in a transportation hub. And of course, Seattle has those, and the areas around Seattle. When I visited my daughter up in Everett a couple months ago, it was a Greyhound Amtrak and the local train, and then the local buses. And then in Birmingham, they have just built or recently built a really nice hub that has on one side of the road, it has all the local bus. It's the hub for the local buses, and then on the other side of the road, it's the hub for Greyhound, and then Amtrak is also, it's going like right over the top of, or right along the side of this, so you can also catch the Amtrak from there. So you have all these things in one place, which allows for, one, these are newer facilities, and it allows for many more people to use them, and two, you feel more confident that it's going to be a good experience. Like when you get to the Birmingham, Raleigh has just built a beautiful hub as well, and I love going there. It's so spectacular. You know, I live in Charlotte, and you can take the train and you can take your bike on the train. So it's a really cool experience to be able to go to a city, take your bike off the train, and just go ride somewhere new. That's really neat. Like Charlotte is planning a hub, but it's not for, I don't know how many years. What's the projected timeline on that? It's a while away. But I feel like cities that are really getting into what transportation should be in our future, which is more alternatives, more feasible alternatives, more alternatives where to get on the bus, you don't have to go to a really weird, sketchy part of town. Like it can just be in a place where you're comfortable being, and I think more people would participate then. I don't know. That's my take. So back to the helmet, which I'm sure you've all been admiring. It's very exciting. So a little background. About 2 years ago, I watched the remake of Spike Lee's She's Gotta Have It. And the girl in that movie rode her bike, and she had a 1000 helmet. I'm not being sponsored. This is just my excitement over the shape and style of this helmet. I love it. So I saw that helmet. She had blue, and it was a matte finish. I think they mostly are. And then it had orange piping around the edge and an orange 1000. They do them in different colors, and they also have some that are painted, or not painted, but like styled or have art on them. And I thought that is the coolest helmet I've ever seen. So I was wearing a nutcase at the time that had a similar painting on it that my daughter did. Right after my accident, before she was getting ready to move, she painted a plain black helmet for me with the universe. This particular universe has our dog that just died, I should say. So all I asked for Christmas was for her to paint a 1000 helmet for me. So she did. And while I was in Mississippi, and it was actually such a complete surprise the day it came, I was kind of just not expecting it. Everybody came to dinner, and my sister said, my sister said, Madison sent your gifts. And so she sent me a pair of rain pants, which I've also been eagerly awaiting. And she sent this helmet, and when I saw, this was a surprise. Like I knew she was painting the universe again, and I'll take it off and sort of show you close up what this looks like. It's got planets. Oh, this is unexpected, different than last time. It's got like meteors on this side. So that's kind of cool. And then, so here is a close-up of Luke. Luke just died. That's kind of sad, I'm sorry. But Luke did just die. Actually, I had to have him put to sleep right before I left for Mississippi. He was 17, and he's been the sweetest dog and the best dog for our family. Probably the only dog that could have survived Madison and me. Just just a sweet, sweet, sweet soul. And he just left us. So I was super sad about it. And so when I got this helmet, I'm gonna cry talking about it probably. When I got this helmet and saw that she had painted astronaut Luke on the helmet, I just fell apart. And still, it's very sweet. So that's my helmet. I'm in love with it. And so I'm just gonna take you guys on my trip today. And I hope you enjoy it. I know I'm gonna enjoy wearing my new helmet. I'm super excited about it. Oh, let me show you one last feature of the helmet and then I'll stop. But it's got this little pop-out thing and you can lock your helmet through here so that I have had one or two friends get a nice helmet stolen, and then apparently it's magnetic. I just realized that. That's magnetic. These are not leather straps, they're vegan leather straps. And they are also very similarly to the nut case. They're actually also magnetic. So they hook on and it's a sliding system. So once it's hooked, it's secure. So this is just a spectacular helmet. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm gonna get ready to go and get going because I really need coffee. See you soon.
Sunday. I'm gonna go. Alright, that was good coffee at Earl's and breakfast. staring at me. Are you gonna fly? I wish you would fly. Alright, I guess he's not doing anything. Let's back up a little. Bye, bud. It's always a good day when you see the heron. This is Sugar Creek Greenway, and it goes a long way already, but they're building it out so that it goes even farther, and hopefully they're making needed connections. It does look at, so they built this just a little too low, so this part floods really easily. It also gets a buildup of mud after a flood. Sometimes the sand and silt just takes over the whole thing if we get a bad rain. The other downfall of greenways is that they're built in floodplains, so if it rains, you gotta find another way to go. I'm in shorts today, I want to remind you. Thank you. Hi, guys. Favorite bike rack in town.
Going to be getting that into there. And it shouldn't be too hard. So here's what that looks like with everything in. The whole bag just fits down in, and then I put the bread that was on the side. Well, I'm back. Cheers. I decided to get stuff to make mimosas today. So that was a quick ride. It was just a little ride. It's kind of to show that especially in certain areas, it's easy to ride. All the things I need to do every day, I can do really quickly and really easily, and without much trouble. Of course, it isn't like that everywhere. It's not like that even in everywhere in Charlotte. I have a friend who used to, she was a car-free commuter just like me. She lives in a different neighborhood in Charlotte, and it's a neighborhood where there aren't even a lot of sidewalks, much less really safe roads for cyclists to ride. I've ridden in neighborhoods like that. I've ridden all through Charlotte, but I do accept that when I ride those roads in those places, I need to ride in a certain way, and I need to accept a certain amount of risk, because it's not, everywhere you go in a city is not as safe as everywhere else, and I think a lot of it has to do with property value, of course. We all know that. Who's living in a neighborhood makes a big difference. But that's a day, that's actually a weekend day. I try to do a little more riding on weekdays and on Saturdays, but like a Sunday, I usually is a day of like getting things together for school. So I don't have to go to school next week, which I'm super excited about. But I am getting a roommate this week, and I'm also excited about that. It's a big house for just one person. It's a small sized house, but for one person, it's pretty large. Anyway, I just wanted to show you what a small ride, a small day kind of looks like in my life, where you can just like go. Sometimes I meet friends. Tomorrow I'll be doing a whole bunch of work at that bike shop I passed with the big mural. I shut off my private internet line, so I'm gonna be doing some work over there on the internet, and just probably also not hanging out by myself tomorrow. So so that's it. Like, it's been a good holiday. I told my daughter, I talked to her on the phone at the cafe, and I told her all the gifts I got were beautiful and nice, and I appreciated every single one, and some of them have great meaning, but to me this year, nothing meant more than that helmet. Ever since I had to retire my old Universe helmet, I have been missing it, like missing the gift of my daughter's artwork, which I think she's a fabulous artist, and the gift of her, like every time I look at that helmet, I think of her, and every time somebody compliments me on that helmet, I tell them my daughter painted this for me, and I say it with such pride, like it's such a glorious thing. And so to have that back, and to have her be with me every day in that way is something lovely. I always treasure things that I get from other people for bike riding, because when I wear it, it's like I'm wearing a little piece of each friend that I have, or each loved one that has given me something. Warm socks, for instance, or she, like I said, she also got me rain gear, which I know when I ride over the next few weeks, it's supposed to be pretty rainy, and I know when I ride, I'm going to be thinking, thanks to you, I am dry, and thanks to you, I have this lovely helmet, and thanks to whatever friend gave me these socks, because they're keeping my feet warm. So that's kind of how I live my bike life, is like, thank you friend for this wonderful piece of yourself, and now you're with me every day. So that's kind of, it feels good to go through, especially my winters, because you wear the most things in the winter, but especially to go through the winter knowing that you are not alone, and that your friends are always with you. Even if they're not with you in person, they are with you in in spirit, and in me, and with me in a very practical way of you are helping me survive this winter out on the roads. Thank you. Happy holidays.